Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jake Kerr. I'd like to welcome you to the 74th episode of the BLXCK INK Podcast, which is, of course, the first podcast of 2022 for BLXCK INK. See spirit fingers up here, down here? Woo! Now, firstly, an apology. I didn't say anything at the end of last year. I just fucking disappeared. I don't think I even posted on Christmas morning. Literally just for a week there, I fucking flooded off into the breeze. And for that, I do apologise, because I know you're all sitting there at home anxiously waiting for BLXCK INK to tell you what I'm doing next, okay? I know that. I know that not to be true, okay? I was just fucking around. But look, I'll tell you why I did it. I had a real learning kind of moment between Christmas and right now. Because what I did is I foolishly planned my whole week between Christmas and New Year's, which so perfectly aligned as like an actual work week with things that I was going to get done as if it was any other week of the year. And then as soon as I tried to engage in any of these practices, of course, I realized that there is actually no other businesses that are operational. And when you're a business trying to be operational, you basically depend on everyone else playing ball at the same time. So consequently, it meant that I was forced out of not being able to do anything anyway. So here's what I did. I made a list of all the things that I could do. Of course, I couldn't just take the advice of having a fucking week off, could I? So I make a list of all the things that I can still do. I make sure that there's deadlines attached to all these things and I still get all those things achieved. But anything that I could take time off in, especially social media, I did. So I just stopped. All my outside clients' work, I stopped doing their work. I stopped doing my work. I just stopped, right? And consequently, what that meant is there's this little gap in my engagement and viewership and all the rest for my businesses. But you know what? It doesn't fucking matter, because at the end of the day, I've only got a business to give myself a better lifestyle. And if I can't give myself this time, then what the fuck is it all for? I'm not saying this in like an egotistical way. I'm saying this is maybe there's something in this message for you to learn from. But enough about that. I just wanted to apologize and say, look, here's my reason. I gave myself time off when I realized I should be taking time off. And after that beautiful week between Christmas and New Year's, having an absolute blowout night on New Year's Eve, and then having 2 days of laying in the air conditioner on the bed, eating KFC and McDonald's, recovering from a fucking deathly hangover that I still don't believe I've recovered from, I learnt that decompressing is so fucking valuable, right? So asking myself, what am I going to say in this first podcast of 2022? I really wanted to come with a message, I guess. I wanted to say something, of course. I don't want to just come up with one of these podcasts where I talk about the most recent thought that I had in the back of my head for whatever reason. So I thought the best place to start is, why not listen to where I left off last year? So I did that. I went for a walk around the block and I was listening to this podcast that I recorded last year. And firstly, how the fuck do you guys listen to me? I mean, I think there's a little bit of cringe element because everybody hates listening to themselves. So I try not to let that affect me too much. But goddamn, I do have some ego and some confidence attached to me. Hey, I know the whole episode was about confidence and kind of not giving a fuck, because the potential of living in a simulation is so high that there's no point to give a fuck. If you're doing what you're doing, then just do what you're doing. But at the same time, dude, when I was listening to it, I was thinking dude, who the fuck do I think I am? So thank you if you listen to me and take me seriously. And I don't know what to say. I guess I'm just a little bit embarrassed. But moving forward, I thought I kind of said what I needed to say about 2021 so perfectly in the message that I try and deliver every time. I mean, I'm trying to show that this whole thing is obviously a process. It's a difficult process, and I'm trying to break it down into these smaller pieces so that, people who do want to know the full BLXCK INK story, you can tune in, you can get these 45-minute installments, you can hear where I'm at, you can participate if you want, or if you just want little chunks where I tell you every day, you can watch my story, or you can check the review videos that I put up on YouTube, or you can check my Facebook, whatever it wants. So I guess I didn't really need to wrap up 2021 all that much. And also, I don't want to go up against every fucking, 20-something-year-old chick going here's my 2021 recap. Oh my God, we did some cliff jumping and some Scott. I don't fucking care. You know what I mean? So if you guys are all going to clog up the algorithm with your bullshit, then who am I to go and compete with you? So took some time off. You know what I mean? I patted the sweat away from my forehead that 2021 gave me, and I fucking marched on forward, just chilling out, But one thing I did do towards the end of last year, while I was debating whether I should work or I shouldn't work, whether I should record a podcast or whether I should fucking smoke billies and watch TV, I did write this list. right? And I wrote this list with an intention of some other direction of the podcast. But look, I'm just gonna tell you what I wrote on my list, and maybe we can learn something together. Okay, so in 2021, Black Ink came up with the Rock Spider tee, the Chalky tee, the Ascension tee, the Work in Progress tee, the Prince tee, the Box Globe tee, the Motocross jersey, the Old School jersey, Reboot, the Sword tee, the Break the Law tee, 2 different types of socks, the Purpose tee, 3 different types of hats, the coffee mug, the trademark tee, the burnt jersey, and the Go Skate tee. Right? I did 243 posts on Instagram last year. There's 365 days in a year. I did 243 fucking posts. I had 790 followers on April 21st, and today I've got 1,813 followers. And I didn't pay for any of them. That's just all people organically following me. I sent out over 500 sticker packs last year. That's each sticker pack was in a Black Ink envelope with a Black Ink card saying, here's a personal message, here's some stickers, sending all my love, thank you, right? I did 3 giveaways where obviously, at one point someone said to me oh, how do I do a giveaway? You do them all the time. I'm like, dude, I've done 2 giveaways. Chill the fuck out, okay? So I did 3 giveaways. Obviously, I've got another one going on at the moment. I had that pop-up at the Perth Motorcycle Show where I got invited by those guys. I set up a little tent. Obviously, I had Muggins' beautiful fat boy in there. I had all my clothes set up. I met a bunch of people that I only followed online. Came and met me. I had a bunch of friends come and drop in. We saw some cool stuff happen. We saw some bad stuff happen. If you were there, you know what I mean. But it was a fucking awesome day that I got to be a part of. As far as the growth of Black Ink, dude, this year has seen Black Ink move out of a fucking caravan and into a house, and then furthermore within that house grow with all the equipment that we bought a screen printer. I've learned to screen print using that screen printer. We got the heat press. We're about to replace that heat press. We did that first release of the 2020 OPTs, which I want to talk about a little bit later on as well. I've got some cool news surrounding that. So that fucking release where obviously I had no idea what I was doing screen printing. I had a little bit of an idea, so I wanted to, those first 20 prints, I wanted them to be the first 20 of 20, even though if they're a little bit, not so great. So we got that, we got them out, got them all sold. That was a sellout. I obviously fucking reviewed the double tender box from KFC. I also did the unboxing of Chillin' at Skateboard, which is pretty cool. I worked on that coffee van for a little bit, did the Relay for Life. That was fun. Donated some chickens to Milligan House. You can go back on my reels on Instagram and watch that. Obviously, got ourselves in store right before Christmas. Got the Grom and started to learn to wheelie because I realized that all these people around me in my little kind of Black Ink community all know how to fucking wheelie a motorbike, and I really want to do it. So I figured out a way to go get a fucking Grom. And, now it sounds like I'm bragging. I'm not. Stay with me. I don't know what's going on with the hand either. Just, again, stay with me. And so obviously I uploaded 73 podcasts and I probably recorded over 100. That's a note that I've made here. And that's true because the amount of podcasts that I didn't upload because I wasn't happy with the message or I wasn't happy with my performance or whatever it might be, they ended up just being deleted and never used again. So yeah, probably recorded over 100 45-minute podcasts and obviously got myself to a position where I can be having this confident conversation with you on my 74th podcast, which I am, of course, proud of. And also, towards the end of the year, I secured 3 outside clients who have chosen to go with Black Ink for their screen printing needs. So this is just a kind of quick, thing that I put together, and I'm sure my mum is listening to this going you also did this, and you also did this, and you also did this. The point that I'm making is, all I started this year was ambition. Not this year, last year. All I started was with ambition, a little bit of money, and not even a real specific goal or dream. It was just basically, let's try. I think my main thing was let's try and make 1,000 Black Ink products and have them sold. So it wasn't necessarily go and make 1,000 Black Ink t-shirts. It was do whatever you've got to do with what you can afford and what's accessible to you bit by bit with the goal trying to get to about 1,000 things. Now, I'm not sure how many garments or items there are Black Ink that got produced this year. I would guess I've done over 300 orders. The majority of those orders have 2-point-something sales on them, so I'm guessing, that gives me over 600 items out there. Then you've got all the things that didn't go through the business, and then you've got also all the things that were made by Black Ink but are not necessarily a garment because there's also websites and all sorts of digital assets and things out there that are attached to the Black Ink name. So I probably did get those 1,000 things. But the main point was, I didn't start the year saying I wanted to make all of these shirts, or I wanted to get over 1,000 followers. I want to get this, I want to get that. I want to get good at talking on camera. I want to have a successful podcast. It was just the right thing came after the right thing. And if something didn't work, I didn't chase it. And if something did work, I tried to get better at it, right? And also, like, I even know within saying that, sometimes if something doesn't work, that's then the encouragement you need to figure out how to make that work if you believe there is something at the end of that road. But also, if you try something and it falls over, and then you go, oh, even if I get good at this, I'm only going to get good at falling over, then having the courage to go like, that's cool, that is what it is, I'm not doing that, I'm going to go do this instead. You know, because I mean, while I've read out everything that did work for me, I have a list that's 4 times as long as this of shit that didn't work for me. I have heaps more things that I've lost money on than what I've made money on. That's the whole fucking thing of business, you know? But something that I really like was cool writing this was the fact that, like, it's kind of like it's proof to me. You know, now that I make these goals for next year, we go, well, let's look at all of this. And even if we just say, let's just try and do this twice over. So if there's 10 shirts there, let's try to do 20 shirts. If I did 3 giveaways, let's do 6 giveaways and try and get double the result back from those giveaways. Like the pop-up motorcycle show in Perth, let's try and be in at least 4 fucking pop-up shops in the next 12 months, because now we know how to do it once, we know how to replicate it over and over. And I think the real thing that I take away from this is the same thing you used to take away from when I was an athlete. Every year you would want to try and take off a second off your time on whatever race you're doing, or you want to move up to a different division, or you want to beat this person, or you want to get better on this particular bit of gear. I think when you start being like kind of tied into a progress, or into like some sort of like stepping stone situation, once you start gaining momentum, you don't want to stop. And like at whatever cost, you don't want to stop. And I think one thing that I kind of said real aggressively and egotistically in my last podcast was, you should be fucking doing it. And I think something that I want to take into this year, and like even applying this to my own character, and I've written this down, I don't quite understand what this means, but I know there's something in this. It's discipline forgiveness, right? Because I think before you can start any of this, you need to be able to forgive yourself for all the other failures you've had, and forgive yourself for all the failures you're going to have in the process. If I listened to every time I fell over, I would only be good at falling over. But if I listened to every time I fell over and the way to fix that problem and then listening to the solution, then I get good at only hearing solutions. And that's really important. When you can only hear solutions, then the door opens for whatever you want to achieve. And instead of being the person who goes like, well, I'd like to get a $5,000 raise within my job this year, you can say, well, fuck this year. In 5 years' time, I want to own a business doing the thing that I'm doing, and I want to be making all the money, you know? I just think that when I look at this, that gives me permission to be even better this year, right? And I'm sorry, again, I feel like I have to apologize 40 times over for being so fucking almost arrogant in these podcasts, and how like aggressive I am and giving my word and this is what I believe in and all the rest. I feel like sometimes I kind of cake it up a bit because I feel like I have this responsibility to have an opinion on everything that I'm talking about, to give myself this flagrant character that everyone can be like, oh, that's why I listen to Jake, because he fucking says it. But in reality, I mean, just trying to stay true to myself, you know. I don't want to build up this fucking weird idea of who I am online and have to adhere to it. So my apologies, my humblest apologies. Now, talking about this cool thing that's happening this year, I've got about 80% of this idea put together. I've got all these pieces of paper with silly little scribbles everywhere. Let me give you the structure of the first exciting part of Black Ink for 2022. Now, this year I'm going to release 22 batches of 20 teas, okay? 2022. Oh my God, that's the year that we live in. And it's congruent with my idea, 2022. So let me explain. 22 times this year there is going to be a t-shirt released. That t-shirt is only going to have 20 of them made. Inside that tee, just like the first OPTs, there is going to be a little tag indicator on the inside saying 1 of 20, 2 of 20, 3 of 20, 4 of 20. Now, the cool part about this is, if you're an avid Black Ink collector, you can collect every single one of the tees. And in fact, you can actually secure all of those tees before they even come out. If you wanted, there's going to be a deal coming out very soon where you can actually purchase Each one of those 22 tees up front now, even though we don't know what any of them are, what any of the release dates are, what any of the designs are, you can secure them all for a particular price right now. You can also put yourself in lines that you have first dibs, so you're on the VIP list before they're released every single time, or you can just wait for them to be released. And I'm sure, look, I know that they're not going to go like hotcakes, okay? If I'm very honest with you, the reason that I'm doing this is because when I do this in 3 years' time, I need all of those customers to already know how this process works now. So all we're going to do for the next year is we're going to pretend like it's a great big idea. I'm going to push it. Everything will sell out, but it's not until like the years after that it's really going to be worth something. So hearing this right now is kind of your early bird opportunity to secure maybe a little slice of Black Ink history, to get all of those first 22 tops in 2022. And obviously going into 2023, 2024, 2025, you know exactly what's going to happen. The pressure is going to be on for me to produce more and more tops. Now, you're probably thinking, well, hang on, if there's 22 tops that you're going to be releasing and there's 12 months in the year, that means that for 11 months you're going to have to release 2 tops a month, and maybe one of those months you can have off, or something like that. And if you're not following the numbers at all, it just sounds like I'm saying heaps of words at the moment, so I'm sorry. But that's exactly the plan. What I'm going to be doing is basically at the beginning and end of each month, thereabouts, probably about every 2 weeks is going to be a shirt release between now and the end of the year. And all of these shirts are going to be congruent with some sort of holiday, public holiday, with a collab, or maybe with just something that's going on at the very time. So the first shirt that's going to be released in this series, you're the first to hear it. How about that? I didn't even plan on saying this on the podcast, and fucking here we are, baby. So, the first tee that I'm going to release is called the Feel Tee. Now, this is going to be a front and back print. This is going to be something that is produced completely in-house, as is all of the tees that are released as part of this program. The Feel Tee is going to be released 50% online and 50% in Sabotage, which means that if you want to get one of these tees and you want the real physical experience, you can go down and see Megan at Sabotage, support your local boutique and get yours there. Or if you want to make sure you definitely get it in your size, don't want to miss out, you can just wait until that release date comes out and you can buy it online. Now, all of this is going to be advertised on Facebook. It's going to be advertised on Instagram. I'm probably going to do some sort of explanatory video just like this. It's going to be its own thing on YouTube. But basically, you've got the inside word right now. So if you did want more information on this, you can DM me directly on Instagram anywhere. You know how to find me. And just ask, and I'll give you all the details. But sit tight otherwise, because all the information about how to get those early bird savings at the beginning of the year, just let me elaborate what that means, okay? So what I'm saying, I'm puffed about this because I'm excited, you understand? Right, so what this means is you can pay for, I think the package is going to be somewhere around $900, okay? And that sounds like a lot of money, but stick with me here. You pay $900, and there's going to be, I might chuck on some shipping for, let's say $1,000. Yeah, fuck it, I'm going to say $900, okay? $900, and then before they're even advertised, you're going to have shirts shipped out to you so that on release day, you get the fresh Black Ink tees before people even have the chance to fucking order them, right? So you're going to be getting, so say Valentine's Day comes around and I've done a fucking cool collab with someone for Valentine's Day. That means on the 13th of February, you get your Black Ink Valentine's Day tee in the mail so you can wear it or maybe even gift it for Valentine's Day before anyone else has a chance to buy it. Every 2 weeks, from now until the end of the year, you're going to have the freshest Black Ink shirt sent out to you. And even cooler than that, let's say you want all of the 4 out of 20s. You want all the 420s, which means that the fourth tee of each of these shirts at release has on the inside, this is the 4 out of 20 top for whatever top it is, the Valentine's Day top. That means that you get every single 420 top delivered straight to you. You basically have a shirt subscription to Black Ink for the rest of the year that you pay for once, and get this, you can put the shit on Afterpay, so it doesn't even fucking cost that much right now. Dude, I can't give you any more value than that, bro. I make the shirts myself. I come up with the good deals, and then I give you the good deals, bro. What more do you want? You understand? Look, I'm going to keep this podcast short and sweet. I don't want to get on here and ramble. I wanted to say what I wanted to say, and I feel like I've said it. I'm probably going to feel, as soon as I fucking press a button, I'm always like, why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say that? I'm just going to keep this first one for 2022 short. But what I do encourage you to do is right now, we're still in that first 2022 hasn't really started yet. We're kind of just rubbing our eyes like it's first thing in the morning. We're trying not to let too much light in, you know? I want you to set your goals ambitiously. I want you to set your goals as if like, you know what, I probably can't achieve this. But set it so high that even if you achieve half of it, you still got more than what you anticipated was achievable for the year. Just try it. Man, look what I got from my ambition. I'm just saying. Again, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, I'm human, you're human, do the thing. Anyway, what you need to do between now and then is be good to your mother. I don't know, spread as much love and light, positivity, good vibes, all the rest as you can. I'm fucking out. Yeah!